So what exactly is the point of a pistol caliber carbine or a 9mm AR? And today we're going to attempt to answer that question. But for one thing, they are just a hell of a lot of fun to shoot. Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. So what really is the point of a pistol caliber carbine or an AR-9, whatever you want to call it, besides being a blast to shoot at the range? I've heard a lot of things. People think that they're completely pointless, that you already have pistols chambered in, these pistol rounds, and you have carbines chambered in rifle rounds. So why would you make a carbine chambered in a pistol round? That sounds pointless, right? Well, I don't think so. I think there are lots of good reasons for them, and I'm going to explain why in this video. But before we get started, as always, I want to thank all of you that have subscribed to the channel. We are growing very fast, and it is thanks to each and every one of you. So one great thing about a PCC is that it has all the same controls and ergonomics as your standard AR-15. But being that it shoots 9mm, you can shoot steel targets up close more safely than you can with a 5.56 AR, for instance. So pistol caliber carbines. This is something I've wanted for a long time, and in fact, over a year ago, I did a video about this AR, and I had talked about the fact that I was in the market for a PCC. And I think what originally got me interested in these was the MP5. It just seems like such a cool weapon and such a fun, just a fun thing to shoot from everything I heard about it. But an MP5 is very expensive. And so I was looking at building an AR-9. I love AR controls, AR ergonomics, and so why not build an AR-9? Or even buy one, which is what I initially was going to do. Eventually, I, decided to build one. And the reason for that being is my local gun store carries lots of Aero Precision parts. And basically, they carried every single part that you need for the EPC9, which is what this is. It's an Aero Precision upper and lower, Aero Precision bolt carrier group. I used a Ballistic Advantage barrel, SIG Romeo 5 red dot. So got a Streamlight ProTac HLX light on it. Glock 33 round magazines. SB Tactical SBA3 brace. Radian Raptor charging handle. I built it exactly the way I wanted it. And I built it to be a fun gun, but I initially also built it because I thought that it would be a good home defense option, being that I could maybe load it up with hollow points, they wouldn't over penetrate, and instead of using something like my M&P, if there was a bump in the night, I could use something with more points of contact, something more controllable, and something that is easier to be accurate with. Well, since then, I've decided not really to use this as my go-to home defense thing. The reason for that being is, unfortunately, it does occasionally have feeding issues. And that is, unfortunately, something I've found that is common with EPC9 builds. Apparently, they did come out with a new barrel design, which has a better feed cone. So I might eventually be looking into swapping this barrel out for one with the better cone, just to eliminate those feeding issues. Now, they're definitely not something that happens all the time. And in fact, I've had many range trips with this where it ran absolutely perfectly. But taking it out today, out of 50 rounds that I put through it today, I think I had 4 or 5 failures to feed correctly, which is unacceptable to me for a home defense carbine. But I believe there are lots of other good uses for PCCs as well that don't necessarily have to do with that. One of them, like I mentioned in the intro, they're a heck of a lot of fun to shoot. Low recoil, and the ammunition is cheap. 9mm is a lot cheaper to run through than 5.56 or 300 blackout. It just is. 9mm these days, the prices come way back down again, and it's cheap to go out and put a bunch of 9mm down range. And for training, say you want to train just like your wrist standard AR. Well, this has all the same controls, the same ergonomics. It is just like shooting any other AR-15, but you're shooting much cheaper ammunition. Besides that, you can shoot steel targets much closer than you can really safely shoot 5.56. Now, you know, when you buy a steel target, it says not to shoot 5.56 or rifle rounds in general any closer than 100 yards. That's not really true. I've shot my 5.56 ARs much closer than 100 yards without any kinds of spalling coming back at me or anything that was dangerous, although it did kind of pit and damage my steel targets, which 9mm at those same kind of ranges isn't going to do. So besides being able to shoot steel up close, one of the other nice things about a pistol caliber AR is that you can actually shoot at longer distances than you would generally be able to with the 9mm handgun, being that you have all the points of contact of a rifle, but a handgun cartridge. So as I said, I feel like this is great as a training tool for your regular carbine. Set it up the same way, red dot, light, foregrip, you know what I mean? And you can run it just like your other ARs, but with much cheaper ammo. Also, you can shoot steel targets up close safer than you can with a rifle round. Well, besides that, you can actually shoot farther away with 9mm than you generally can accurately with a handgun. Now, I've gotten to the point now where just about all of my handguns actually run 9mm. This 1911 here is chambered in 45. This one's 9mm. My carry pistol's 9mm. My bedside gun is 9mm. I like 9mm, and I stock a lot of it up because I go through a lot of it. But it's nice to be able to get farther away from your targets and still be extremely accurate. With a simple red dot on this, being able to have all the points of contact of a cheek weld, your pistol grip, your foregrip, all of that, you can be so accurate so easily with this thing at much greater distances than you can with a standard handgun. Besides that, the recoil is extremely low. You're shooting 9mm, which is a low recoiling round anyway. Not that 2.23 or 5.56 recoils much at all either, but 9mm is not nearly as powerful of a round. Now, a lot of people will tell you that a PCC actually has more recoil because the bolt and spring are heavier because it's direct blowback. Easy way to get rid of that is use a brake like this. This is the VG6 Gamma 9mm, and it really makes for a low recoiling platform. This thing is so easy to shoot. My daughter can shoot it really well if she needs to. It's small, it's light, and it's low recoil, which is really a combination for a really good time at the range. You can shoot up close, you can shoot far away, and you can train with it really well for, you know, as far as your carbine training without it costing nearly as much. Now, besides all of the aforementioned reasons that I have talked about as to why I think there's good points for a PCC, the original thing that I first thought I was building this for, being a home defense type of setup, I do think is a good option for most of them. Just because my EPC9 has been shown to have some feeding issues occasionally, Doesn't mean that all pistol caliber carbines are that way. You know, CZ Scorpions, very reliable. MP5s, extremely reliable. And lots of AR9s, very reliable. Including the EPC9, I think you just have to get the updated feed cone. We'll see. I'm going to polish it up, see if that makes a difference. I've heard mags make a big difference. Although the magazines that I'm running are the Glock OEM mags. Paid a lot of extra money. You know, these are like $45 versus $15 for the knockoffs. And all I've been running are the good Glock mags, and I'm still having those issues occasionally. So it's something that I'm going to have to figure out with my personal one. But if you have a PCC that is reliable, I think that it could be a great home defense setup. You can mount a light on it, and you can run it just fine. My light doesn't seem to be working. But, you know, you can run a light, you can set it up good for home defense, your optic, and you can have a great running carbine that you're not going to be shooting a highly powerful rifle round inside your home. So you're going to have a lot less concussion, a lot less noise. You know, you can get a silencer on one of these things, 9mm, you can run subsonic ammo. And I think it wouldn't be a bad home defense option at all. It's unfortunate that mine hasn't turned out to be that way. But, you know, the way it is right now, I really only trust it as a range toy, which is okay. It's a really fun range toy. I do want to make sure that I can fix it up to be as reliable as I would need it to be in order to use it for any kind of serious use. But at this moment, I don't feel that way, unfortunately. But there are lots of good PCCs that are very reliable. So you can use them for something more serious than just training or fun at the range. And if you can keep the thing from jamming so much, it's really fun to shoot. Like I said, alright, it looks like my light works fine. The tail cap just wasn't screwed in all the way. Anyway, I really do like pistol caliber carbines. This is one of the more fun guns that I have to shoot. And a big part of shooting is fun. If you enjoy it, you're going to do it more. Also, if the ammo is cheaper, you're going to shoot it more. And so this thing makes me shoot more. Right there is another great reason for a pistol caliber carbine, because I go out and I train and I practice, and so I get better. And that is a big deal when it comes to shooting. Just owning guns isn't enough. You have to train with them, you have to practice with them, and you have to get proficient with them. And as something like this, it gives me everything I need to train, practice, and become proficient for a cheaper cost as far as ammo is concerned. And it's just fun. And that is huge. If you enjoyed this video, please drop me a like, please share, please comment. Tell me if you think PCCs are pointless, or if you own one and you enjoy shooting it and you use it for any kind of serious use or not. I want to know what you guys have to think. I love reading your comments, and I reply to every single one of them. Also, please subscribe to the channel. I am growing this channel as fast as I can. I'm working really hard on it, but I need each and every one of you to subscribe in order to make that happen. Make sure you ring that bell symbol so you get notifications when I drop new videos. I put out 3 videos every week, Sunday at noon, Tuesday and Friday at 4 p.m. So I constantly have new content coming out for you, and we do all kinds of different stuff. Range videos, Second Amendment news videos, build series, lots of fun different things. So subscribe to the channel and don't miss any of that. From Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.